where we're going.
All right, back on your screens and in your ears. Welcome back to Papa G's house. Sorry I've taken so long. Welcome, guys. We've got Matt and Devon from Crossfire Collision. What's happening, dudes? How you doing?
Very good, thank you. And yourself?
Pretty good.
Cool, man. Sorry it's taking so long to get this stuff together. Obviously, if anybody's checked out the show, then they would be able to see the changes.
Have we been elusive?
We're a little bit more comfortable now, eh?
Yeah, this is different
That
perspective.
actually is it moonlights as a casting couch.
Which kind of
Oh my
couch? I think I've seen this couch.
So what's happening, guys? There's a lot going on in the Crossfire Collision camp at the moment. So tell me what's been happening.
bits and bobs, eh?
Got an EP or album? How do we describe this thing?
I like to call it an album, but it's 6 songs. EP songs. Everyone's doing EPs nowadays, so
Yeah,
I guess it's
sure,
an
man.
EP. No shame, it's an EP.
Okay, and when did you guys start working on this epic release? Because I've actually, for the listeners, I've actually heard it, and it is just, it's a masterpiece, guys. I'm proud to say that I'm proudly South African. You guys are bringing next level.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that.
It's all,
So kind.
it's all Devon's
Oh, wow.
handiwork.
No,
Yeah,
no,
man, you guys have really, you've
Studio
really
vibes, it's all his.
done a stellar job. I mean, we'll get to it later, and we'll feature some of the songs, but I want to kind of find out, where did Crossfire Collision come from, and how did it all come about? Because I know you guys were in like different bands at some stage in your
old as fuck. Yeah.
old as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to? When did we cross paths and stare into each other's eyes?
When did we cross eyes?
When did we we crossed eyes, cross swords?
I don't know. What,
2000
you want to go? You want to do like a
how far back?
Yeah.
How far back do you want to go here?
Let me put it to you this way. I met you. I can't remember the year, but I was following, and I was going to college with Rob from Man in Suit.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And he got me super interested into the local scene and all that kind of jazz. And I'd never seen a live show and blah blah blah, and we always used to chat about how rad it is to play in a band. He played bass in a Man in Suit, and I'd met Scott and met all the other guys, and I went and saw their first show. It was that Birdfleet house party that turned
Steve Benjamin's house.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
God.
it was
There's
his
like
house.
a stabbing there.
Yes.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
a guy
I
that I
remember.
went to school with.
Yeah, people were stabbed.
Yeah.
I was there. I don't remember any
Yeah.
stabbings.
So Man in Suit. So the band we played in before Matt joined the band. He did join
Doppler effect.
the Doppler Effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was myself, Sean Deavy, Peter Walton on guitar, Graham Powers on bass, and Mark Moyes on guitar, vocals. And we released an EP, a 5-track EP in 2005.
I think it was earlier than that even. I think it might have been like
earlier.
2003 even.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, somewhere around there,
I don't know,
early
it's a while
2000s.
ago, yeah.
And so, Man in Suit and the Doppler Effect, they were like brother bands, if you want to call it. We always played
It's
together.
actually when they had those, when those things were very popular, when the fake tattoo sleeve stockings.
That was
you
actually
could buy them with the coins.
That's funny you mention that, because the first show I ever played with the Doppler Effect, I wore 2 of those fake tattoo sleeves. Yeah,
I used to wear them all the time.
really, that's so funny, dude. Like,
But those things were epic in their day. Hey? It was just like, okay, sweet, I don't really need to get them, but I can look cool for a night.
a friend of mine used to have a company where he put gumball machines in different stores, and one of his gumball machines had little eggs with these fake tattoo sleeves inside them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Those twist off things, and
Although when you got hairy
surprise.
arms and like your one arm's normal with hair, and then you got like this like super tight, like
Yeah.
it looks weird. It looks like an amputee.
Or maybe it's like a
So-
fresh tattoo that's,
Yeah, it looks like you got
I guess you
taking
got
care of some
shaved.
burns.
I don't know. It looks a bit strange. I got photos of myself wearing it, so I'm allowed to judge. But yeah,
Well, I mean, if I went into my catalog, I've got plenty myself.
let's go into
So
that catalog.
there's no judgment on my side whatsoever.
Yeah.
So carry on with how you guys came about, because were you guys in Doppler Effect together?
No. I actually played trumpet for a band called Zero Tolerance, which Matt was in.
Okay.
Which is like a ska punk band, and I don't know why I did it, to be honest.
I also don't really know why you did it.
It's a bizarre moment in my life.
How did you even get a trumpet?
Okay, first of all, you played trumpet.
I went for trumpet lessons and everything. I went through. I mean, I still dig ska, but I was more into it then. And they were like Darian Deprini. I went to high school with him at Abbott's College, and he was like, "Yo, we're looking for a trumpeter." And I just moved to Abbott's College.
This is a guy that
was a lonely man.
Drums for us. He was just for context.
Yeah, so
in Zero Tolerance,
drums, and he was like the only friend I made there in the first week. So he was like, "Well, do you know anyone who can play trumpet?" I was like, "I'll play trumpet." Like, please let me in. So
were you? I mean, obviously you knew how to play the trumpet, but okay. Well, let's segue a little bit. I want to hear you play guitar in Crossfire Collision. You play guitar, and you also do some stellar vocals.
I do some vocals.
You do some. Well, I think they're pretty. I think they do. I think they're awesome.
Thank you.
It's not easy to carry a harmony. I know. I've tried. So when you nail them, they sound just.
Oh yeah, I actually prefer singing to playing guitar. I get more satisfaction.
I didn't know that.
Well, this is the truth. This is revelations. No, when it works, I prefer the satisfaction that comes from like a sick harmony. When you lock it in and it just sounds like awesome. To me, that's rad. I don't know.
100%. But now I want to know when you
want to speed up the process here, like from
no.
When we were 16.
No. Trumpet came in, and
trumpet player.
I want to know about the whole trumpet playing. What did you start playing, and then we can move to you. I've got all the time in the world here, so I don't care backtracking and.
So Doppler Effect was always like my first baby. Like I really wanted. I loved that band, and when you're younger, you have time. You can play in 2 bands. You can play in 3 bands, and I had a great time with Zero Tolerance, but. I wasn't the songwriter in Zero Tolerance, and maybe I'm a bit of a control freak, but I like to be a songwriter and write the songs. So that's with Doppler Effect I could do that.
Okay.
So yeah, we went through a few member changes in Doppler Effect. The singer, who was a big part of it, obviously he just decided to leave for the UK.
Okay.
And
well, I mean that happens quite a lot.
Yeah, we went through about 3 bassists.
Disappear.
Yeah, so we went through so many lineup changes. We had Brett Allen White on bass for a while.
Yeah. Some past haunts.
He actually sang for a while as well.
He's got a great
we had
voice.
Ian
and
Robbins.
Nightmares, I suppose.
Yeah,
Armour for Nightmares. Yeah, I remember that was with like John Shaban and all those dudes.
Yeah,
was in that
John
band,
Case and. Yeah, then we had Ian Robbins. I don't know, Ian.
Walk with the Wicked.
Walk with the Wicked.
I remember having long conversations
like
over many beers with Charles about like Walk with the Wicked. And he always spoke very highly of them, and I believe he actually also played one solo on one of their tracks or something like that.
Quite possible.
Call my bullshit, because I don't really know. But
no one remembers anything anymore. Anyway. Sure. It's all good. So yeah, Ian Robbins played bass, and then. We were looking for another vocalist, and Matt came in around 2000.
I remember I came in and I tried out for bass, I think, because Mark and Graham had left the Doppler Effect, and I came in as a guitarist and someone who didn't sing in a band to come in and I mean, I just loved the Doppler Effect at the time.
Yeah.
So I came in as someone who was going to try it for bass, and I just thought like.
Okay, so you tried it for bass initially.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we
failed.
Failed. And I think you guys took a risk because I had shown a little bit of interest in actually singing for the band. And I'd never sung for a band before.
Thank God for that. Well, I'm not saying that in a disrespectful way at all. I'm just saying.
I mean, I suppose if that didn't happen, like I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have sung in any band.
Interesting.
And
just in context, Matt did backup vocals for Zero Tolerance, and it was
It was terrible.
fucking so bad. It was the worst thing I've ever heard
That
in my
wasn't
life.
good. I was
So when he wanted to audition as the lead singer of the Doppler Effect, I was like,
what are you thinking?
how do I tell this guy? No. But then I think you auditioned in Gandalf's and
I auditioned in Gandalf's to
How
Kill
did you
Switch
audition
Engage.
in Gandalf's?
you just sang to a song in the background.
No, Kill
Just like,
Switch
hey,
Engage.
bro, I can sing your song. I
Yeah,
promise.
listen to this.
Actually, one night to you, I did that. Not to one up you, dude.
Yeah.
But I did that once with Rob with Battle for the Sky, Man in Suit. I was like, I want to sing in your band. And I think I remember belting it one night when I had way too much to drink. So I know how that feels.
But I mean, I guess like that's the way that we did it back in the day. Like you know, none of us.
No Gumtree vibes.
No, it wasn't. It was just okay. I've got a bit of Dutch courage, and we're sort of 20, old to 21 at the time, and I was taking a risk because I knew that my backups were like subpar.
Yeah,
I was always a shy vocalist. I sang really low because I just felt embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I just thought in my head that maybe I could actually sing for this band. And I think if they didn't take it on for some bizarre reason that they did, if they didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have sung for a band.
So
ever,
are you one of those dudes that like needs that? Because I'm also another guy who needs that constant push from his bandmates to be like, dude, you're so good.
I don't
can
think
do
so.
this.
I don't think so now, because now we're quite comfortable.
Yeah.
But back then, I think if there wasn't a push,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done it at all.
So it's amazing what could be, hey? And what it could have been, and all that kind of
It
stuff.
would have just, that feeling
Yeah.
when you think in the back of your head, oh no, like there are melodies that would sound cool for this and would sound cool for that, and I wish maybe I could just give it a chance. If there isn't a push in that first initial stage, then it's very easily kind of just.
And when was that
swap it.
defining moment for you? I mean, when in your, because you joined Doppler. Did you actually join on bass? Because I don't remember you playing
No,
bass.
I never played bass. They ended up.
Check me dropping knowledge.
Yeah, no.
Nice work, man.
I never played bass for the Doppler Effect. And then what happened was I tried out, and there were a bunch of people that had also sent in recordings of themselves. I think Devon handed out a vocal-free track and uploaded it somewhere, and there were.
It was actually on Gumtree.
Was it?
Serious, yeah.
Got a few very interesting responses.
Some of them were funny. Some of them were great. I didn't hear all of them. I suppose.
Most terrible, just bad. Yeah.
I threw my hat into the ring, and that was that. So I think I remember the first time we recorded a song called Requiem for Flight, and it was the
Total
first.
Kill Switch ripoff.
Yeah,
I ripped off that song.
But who didn't back it then, eh?
Oh man.
I mean, we've
listen to
got
it now.
we just to give you a bit of context. We've Atlantic South are busy writing an album, and one of the songs we felt like just the one chord made us feel like Kill Switch. And we called it The End of Ball Lake. Just so for the reference.
That's
But
brilliant.
anyway.
Never thought of that. That's amazing.
But anyway, just a random piece of information. But carry on. So you.
Yeah, so we released. I think we released a few singles. Like we didn't record.
We never even released anything. No,
we didn't really release a full album with Matt. But then that Doppler Effect kind of fell away. I think people just. I don't know. We moved on to.
Left. We had a couple of people drop out, and the style had kind of changed, and we then decided, all right, well, either we continue with the Doppler Effect with
play the old
more people
songs
again, or let's just start something fresh. And we started
because
AB
it's quite
Turbo,
easy for a lot of people to go through that process and be like, okay, well, we've got a whole set of songs, or do we want to start afresh and under a different name and a different like style, etc., etc. So did you go, okay, we're know the same music and all that kind of stuff, but we're going to be changing the direction and the sound and all that kind of stuff to suit the new project?
I think it was more like a definite change
Like
in
a
the
shift.
direction of the music. We all kind of were hanging out a lot together and listening to, be like, here's this new band, let's listen to this, and, you know. So I think our musical taste kind of shifted simultaneously. So it wasn't such a hard decision to make. We were like, okay, this is what we want to do. Like Thrice was a big band. We were like, this is fucking amazing. We're not doing the chunky metalcore stuff anymore. We want to make it a bit more progressive. And Brett Allen White was in AB Turbo, and he also brought that. He was also a big fan of, you know, prog stuff. So post-hardcore, I mean, not prog, right?
Post-hardcore, hey? But the
you
Past
know, like
Haunts is
Norma
post-hardcore
Jeannie.
band. But yeah, they did have some really really beautiful, interesting moments in the pieces of music.
So it got a
that I
bit
really
more,
much
I guess, like in Doppler Effect, me and Walton were like I was way better guitar then than I am now. We were like shredding, you know, harmonize everything.
Yeah.
But then AB Turbo was more shifted in the songwriting direction and getting, I guess, a bit more mature.
Yeah,
so you play the weird chords, you know, the propaganda chords, not just.
Yeah.
And then I think we recorded.
Good sound effects.
Can you edit those out?
What?
No. My terrible
Just
sound
edit
effects.
it in like that.
Yeah, just.
I don't think it's that bad.
And then so AB Turbo came along, and that was myself, Peter Walton again, Brett Allen White, who did a lot of
always
shouty
like
stuff.
kind of the same.
It was pretty much
route.
the same.
People, and by the time it got to Crossfire, it was
nothing again.
I suppose
it was starting afresh again.
Just so Brett Allen White, we've mentioned that name a few times. The weirdest thing, I dated my high school sweetheart or whatever, and I met, and I was really into guitar playing. I was really terrible. And I had like this old Court Stratocaster that's actually sitting right there. There it is.
Left or right? The left.
On the right-hand side.
Oh, very nice.
That's the first electric guitar I ever owned. And I used to go to her house, and I used to take my guitar and my little shitty amp. There's like a little tiny Fender amp lying around there, and I won't get rid of those two.
No.
3, because I've got the little acoustic, my first acoustic, then I've got that. And then I've got a little Fender, like 15 watt, like 1x10 or 8. And I used to go to her house, and her brother used to play drums. I don't know if you know Gareth McAllister. He will, if you listen to
All
this,
Guns Full Ammo?
No. He's just very good friends with Brett Allen White. And then, like, when I was...
Did he work at Butler's Pizza?
I think,
Has he got blondish hair?
Yes,
I do know.
Yeah, and he went up to Grahamstown, and he played a whole bunch of black punk and ska bands and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, he was a very big factor in me staying involved and interested in music, because I always used to go and jam at his place, and he was an avid drummer, and I was a shitty guitarist and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I digress from your story.
No, it's cool, man.
Because of Brett Allen White.
Yeah,
great guy, by the way.
No,
but you kept your first. That's your first guitar.
That's my first. I've got both first guitars. Yeah.
First amp kept it.
First amp kept it.
Wow.
I'm kind of like a hoarder in that sense. If anything, if anything sort of means anything to me, I'm a very sentimental person. So I've got like all my first guitars. I've got my first guitar that I played live.
Yeah.
I've got my first. I'd named my 2 dogs after my 2 guitars.
Yeah.
Jackson and Charvel. My girlfriend was very upset when I sold my Jackson, so I had to buy another one. But
so your guitar and your dog matched.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was really into it. Let's talk obsessive. If you can talk to any of my mates now, from 6 years ago, they'll tell me that I was probably the most annoying person on earth, because all I talked about was music. Did you never have that? Or did you guys just always play it cool?
20s were a blur, man. I don't know.
20s? This is my 30s, brother.
Late bloom.
Yeah, I'm a late bloomer. So,
cool,
I just got so obsessed and just started going.
That's right. That's good to be passionate about stuff.
No, yeah, I suppose. Okay, so we're talking about AB Turbo. Let's move on.
Yeah. What more about that? We filmed a cool video for that.
Okay, all right.
We had a song.
We did make a little... Yeah, we made quite a cool music video we were proud of. We shot it in the castle. we like we filmed it in this old stable that they had to bring the horses out of so that we could film in there for about an hour. And they give us like explicit rules not to flick the lights on and off because it's like a crazy old building, and please don't do this because you're going to destroy everything. So what did we do? We got into the room and we just flicked the lights on and off.
Looked really cool.
It looked rad, yeah.
Rad.
We didn't
Slow-mo
care.
shit. Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Luckily, nobody with photosensitive epilepsy.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and the interesting thing about that was that it was essentially the Doppler effect guys that ended up being in AB Turbo until AB Turbo stopped.
Okay.
And when that ended, then we moved on to Crossfire.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was like a good 8 months to a year break after AB Turbo. You know, it's like that.
Yeah.
It was like 2010, and that's the age when you're kind of getting into your first job, like proper job, and like people are just, you know, Peter went to South Korea to teach English, so and we had
Everyone was
always
like doing
jammed
their own
together.
things, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was weird to not have him around as a fellow guitarist.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, those days. I mean, we're talking the early 2000s, eh?
Yeah, it's 2010 now. AB
No,
Turbo.
like late 2000s, yeah.
I mean, sorry, man.
Yeah, it's like
2010.
Yeah.
The 2010.
it's like
area.
2010. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wait, but is that? I mean, when did you guys? I mean, you guys did college and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, we
I
tried.
suppose we're all a bit older now. Hey, Flip, we are cuckold.
Yeah.
Seasoned.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Vintage. Yeah.
And then, what year do you have a establishment date? Crossfire Collision, 'cause
2011. Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, it was
okay.
about
So
27, yeah.
I'd written like a
Took
few
8 years.
punk songs. Like, I don't know, my music taste just went back to my roots, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd always loved like just the fast melodic punk stuff, and I don't know why I kind of digressed from that in the first place.
You're like
to be
sick
honest.
of post-hardcore, really.
Yeah, I mean metalcore and stuff. It was such a big thing in those years that like it was
It's
hard
like the
not to be.
2008, like metalcore was
Yeah,
like
it was
the
and
thing.
End of
Yeah,
Heartache
yeah.
came along and it was like, fuck, how can you not be influenced by this? This is so rad.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was beautiful, it was powerful, and like you just get swept into that. So,
Yeah.
but then like after we'd had like a little break and AB Turbo stopped, I was like, I just want to write some like fast melodic stuff again. So I wrote like 5 songs. I had no one else in the band at the time. I said I need a drummer, and Noel Shelton. Don't know if you know Noel Shelton, but
He used to play in a punk band called
False Pretense.
False Pretense.
That was
That
back in the day,
definitely rings a bell.
They were like crusty,
crusty
like
punk.
really fast, really I don't know.
Yeah, crust punk, I guess.
Yeah, like crust punk, but it was cool.
It was cool. It was cool. It's had members from War and Salt. What is Neil, the bassist from Fail to Lose?
Failed to lose.
That's such a cool name. Still a cool name.
That is a cool name, man. Pale
So,
Tribute.
even now. So I phoned him up. I mean, I've been friends with Noel for years, since like primary school. So I was like, yeah, man, you still got a drum kit in that shitty garage of yours? And he was like, yeah, maybe. So yeah, I sent him the tracks, and he came. The first practice was god awful. He was so bad. I didn't know how to break it to him.
Whenever is anyone like really good at their first session?
Yeah, I know. So I gave him another chance, and he went home and actually practiced, and he came back and he was like a different drummer. So he was like, he got back into it. So I was like, cool, this is actually quite rad. It's like Pennywise-y kind of fast punk. And so I was looking for a bassist as well, and Noah was like, well, this guy Craig McKeown, he played an LP show, which were, they're kind of legends in their own right. And
they had that. They were on that one surf DVD. I can't remember how the song goes or anything like that. It's like literally 20. Jeez, when did I start working at Bittersweet? I was working in advertising at the time with my brother-in-law, and I knew of Alpi Show because I knew Galen Harsack from school. He was a bit older than me, but his sister was my year, so I knew him and all that kind of jazz. And he's in West Coast Wolves now, yeah?
Yeah.
And I just that LP show always brings me so much memories because we used to work on a client, Glenfiddich.
Good whiskey, though, man.
And we used to, obviously get a little bit of complimentary every now and again. And it was like a absolute ritual to get together every Tuesday or Thursday, and we would punish some single malt whiskey and listen to just because how the surf movies and all that's all skate punk and surf punk and all that kind of stuff. And LP show, I'll never forget, is on that one. I wish I could remember the director. He's a very good friend of my brother-in-law, in fact, Jason Hines, I think his name is, surf guy, and he produced that. Anyway, long ass fucking story, but that's how I discovered LP show and what they're all about. And also, they had a really good reputation.
I remember they were in, I think, one of the first. Remember Blunt magazine?
Yeah.
LP show was like one of the bands that were before I'd even considered being in a band. Like they had articles about LP show, and it was this punk band, and I just thought it was like, sorry.
Yeah, but that's what makes it
amazing.
exciting, man.
Yeah,
like there's other guys doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And there was this band LP show, and Galen Hossack was like in this.
And he was a pro surfer doing Billabong classics and shit.
We met him when I met him when we were still back, when I was still back in Zero Tolerance, and he recorded our little ska EP. We went around to his house.
That was our job shadow. We recorded a song at Galen Hossack's house.
Shit, serious?
Yeah.
Was that the spot in the southern suburbs?
It was in Harfield, down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I used to visit his parents used to have a spot in Victoria Bay.
Oh wow.
That the Land's End, I think it was called. And I was good friends with his sister because we were the same age. And bro, Vic Bay surfer, all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. But great punk rock at the same time.
Yeah, no, great band. So so Craig McKeown, I think he was also a writer for Blunt.
In depth here, bro.
Oh, sorry, are we waffling on too much?
I look bored.
I
look bored to you. I'm
do the
getting
viewers
all this
look bored?
information.
I don't know.
What's that?
Do the viewers look bored?
Fuck. It's your fault.
Our lives are not that interesting. It's just how it happens.
Well, it's interesting to me, so carry on talking.
Okay, we'll try to speed it up. Okay, so then Craig joined. We had Noel on drums, one guitarist, me, and then Matt said, "Well, I'm not doing anything, so let me try it for singing." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
That it felt like the Doppler effect all over again. I was like,
put him through it again.
Yeah, and I remember you guys said something along the lines of, like, we kind of looking for something a little bit different.
True.
Which, I mean, would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I think it would have been amazing. But I also was kind of stoked, like, that maybe, I'd have another chance to sing for,
Well, dude, I mean...
And it was different this time, because this time I was going to have to play guitar and sing. In Doppler Effect, I didn't play guitar, I just sang. Okay. So I had that awkward on stage, like no props to hide behind, and so it was an interesting change to get back into playing with the same guys again as AB Turbo and the Doppler Effect.
Yeah, dude.
But this time with a
guitar in front of you. Yeah. I mean, I find that's
that fucking like patting your head,
exactly.
Your stomach
for the life of me, cannot do it, and I literally tip my hat to anybody who can. Because I find that like literally the most difficult thing to do on earth, and I just can't seem. I mean, I'm a pretty coordinated dude. I was always good in sports and all that kind of shit, and that's just one thing I've always struggled with. Is that, and then keeping your vocals to be in time with that beat.
It's easy when you record, because we recorded everything separately, and then that first time we like, okay, because we did because he recorded everything first. And then we came in and did vocals. It was easy to lay out the songs, and then we practiced them together. And I was like, I don't actually know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah, dude.
Because I physically cannot play. I cannot play guitar and sing at the same time. So I've got to learn like a new skill here.
Did you also get like stuck with that? If your vocal melody goes da 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 da, and then you're going da da, when you're strumming like da 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 da, like your hands like going at the same beat as what you're trying to sing. I don't know. That's my problem. I always
but that's why I couldn't be a drummer.
Separating your left and your right.
I can't separate if I had to drum, like I can't.
That's
I
so
can't
weird.
separate my arms from my legs, so my arms and legs do the same thing. So that's why drumming to me is amazing, because I couldn't never do that.
Okay, so I think what we should do now, lots of background, but it's been a long time since I've done a podcast. I first of all want to apologize to anybody who has stayed interested in the podcast. As you can see, things have changed. I think I've just been in the constant search for improvement, and with the constant search for improvement, you get a lot of procrastination.
You got good props now, dude.
Yeah.
Look at this.
There we go. Those aren't sweets, by the way.
Lighting was amazing. I think it's good.
I've been on that search, just trying to make things better, not having like this weird nothing in between us kind of situation. Although I really enjoyed the previous podcast, I just didn't ever feel comfortable. So sorry to everybody who's waited, all three of you, but I'm back.
Okay.
It's happening. Thanks guys for coming around.
Oh, cool.
I want to first have a pee, but let's introduce something
new.
Yes.
Right.
What is it going to be, gents?
Well, okay, yeah, let's do
a new track.
Let's do a new track.
The new album.
Let's show you a new track, from our new EP/album. And I don't know, see what you think.
I'm excited. What is the song called? And
the song is called Childless Dad Bod. And
I love it.
The album's called Deadlock, which is also one of the songs on the album. So take it away.
But are we? No.
You
Take
totally
it away,
ruined my cutaway.
Are we not revealing the artwork and all that kind of jazz? Isn't this involved?
we haven't announced what the album's called.
Was it not supposed to do that?
No. I mean, this is
we're awkwardly announcing the album.
I think we should do
EP.
Because we haven't said that up until this point. We've only said we're busy in studio recording this thing, and now it's getting to that stage where we're going to be releasing this thing pretty soon. We've got artwork, we've got everything kind of lining up, which is great, and
I'll tell you what we do. What is the song called? What?
Childless Dad Bod.
Childless Dad Bod by Crossfire Collision. We'll talk about the new release when we come back.
I just wanted to thank you for the backhand I received from you last week. Didn't know where it came from. Behind me, running was kind of weak. Go! I don't have any fight moves at the fetal position, and it doesn't work well. I've got a childless dad bod, strength of one card. Watch me cower down to the floor. I'd rather buy you a warm beer, just to be clear on why you'd like to fuck up my face. Would you like a tequila to keep ya from spilling blood all over the place? Even if I say it real slow, you'll try your hardest but you'll struggle, I know. Now I'm fighting with the big man, but he's short of 5 feet. I talk about condolences, I'm too deep. Backing out to show you just how much I love you. My dignity's gone, but I'm in one piece. Zero respect for myself at least. No time to be a hero. Ambition is at zero. I've got the slowest reaction time when it's action time. Busting a kettle in a blackened out cellar. Think of me as at least a 3 as I retreat gracefully. Walk out to my great demise. Maybe smoke for teary eyes. Please just tell my family why I won't be coming home tonight. Even if I say it real slow,
All right, that was Childless Dad Bod by Crossfire Collision off the album
Deadlock.
Deadlock.
Mhm.
Nice one, guys.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
All right, thank you.
Now tell me, how did the whole, when did you start writing the album, and how did it all come about? What's the theme?
Well, we wrote the album because we had 2 new members yet again. Bruce McDougall, who is the bassist.
Okay.
He joined probably about a year and a bit.
About a year and a bit, I think.
And then old Sean Deavy, the classic Deavy, back in the frame, back at it again.
Back at it again.
Did he
Well, he was
disappear and
in
then come back?
Doppler Effect, the drummer.
Yeah.
And then he played for Hogs for how many years? I don't know. And then we had Noel on drums. Then we had Jimmy McGregor on drums, who played in a band called Sweet Victory, which were really rad. And then he went to Scotland. So we were like, well, Sean, if you want to come back and jam some more punk rock.
Come crawling
Yeah,
back,
man.
man.
Crawling back.
But
Yeah,
he's been back for a while though. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
it's been a
like
couple
for-
years.
Yeah, a
2
couple
or
of years at
2.5,
least.
Yeah. So it was the first album we tracked with the new drummer Sean and the new bassist Bruce. So it was quite. We weren't sure how it was gonna go. But it was
Wicked.
sounds right.
So in the recording process, did you do like a scratch track, and then you recorded the drums, and then re-recorded the guitars, or how did the
No,
process?
no.
Like, because obviously I know,
Mm.
and everybody can know that you tracked the album.
Yeah,
You
I recorded it.
are a sound
mixed
engineer.
yeah. So usually, for our last full-length album, Panic Face,
Mhm.
I kind of wrote all the songs, and I was like, "Cool, this is how it's gonna go.
Okay.
Come and record it." And it was cool. I'm happy with the songs, but I wanted more kind of input from the rest, make it more of a band album.
Yeah, sure.
So I still came up with a lot of the ideas, but Matt also came up with a lot of ideas,
Okay.
and we actually jammed the songs
Okay.
live. Practiced them,
Okay.
which is something we haven't actually done before. So we were able to
Mm.
refine it to everyone's kind of input and taste,
Okay.
and I think that's resulted in something that's more, I don't know, that reflects.
Okay,
All
so
of us?
initially your first releases and stuff were all based on your songwriting. You were the main
Yeah,
songwriter
pretty
in the
much.
situation.
Because I mean, it was just convenience as well. Because I've had a studio for a while, so I could churn out. If I had an idea, it was easy for me to
Yeah.
record something basic with drums and guitars and stuff.
Like, regardless, you were mucking about in there anyway.
Yeah, I was just fucking around.
It's always been something that you've been really keen on. I
Yeah,
suppose.
and if no one else submits songs, I guess I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I did it, but this time.
So you wrote songs start to finish lyrically as well.
Not so much lyrically, because I got lazy at that point, and
Okay.
I said, Matt, here's the songs, you just write the lyrics.
Okay.
But for this
Mm.
latest one, it was much more like I wrote maybe 2 or 3 of the lyrics
Okay.
and the melodies. I didn't sing it, all of it, but it was cool to kind of combine that songwriting
Okay.
together instead of just being like,
How does that happen? How does that translate in terms of a time frame structure? Because you'll obviously get your bands that will record when the main songwriter of the band or whatever will put the songs together and everybody learns, and the vocalist writes the lyrics and stuff. How challenging is it for a band that has dual responsibility or tri responsibility or quad responsibility? It depends on how many members you have involved in the writing process. I think a lot of people out there are interested to know in terms of, you get the bands where there's the one main songwriter, and then you get bands where the input is completely mutual. But that also has a time factor that is associated with that. As far as I know.
I think the difference maybe with Deadlock compared to Panic Face was that Panic Face took a long time to record. Pre-production was a long time, and what made it easy to have it take a long time was that it was all sort of pre-written, and there was a little bit less of an organic like kind of thing to it. So it was, everybody just had to come in and do their parts.
Okay.
And so I would come in and I would write lyrics, and I would just have the music for a lot of the tracks, and for quite a long time, and I would write lyrics for it, and then we'd come in, and there wasn't a sense of urgency, and so we kind of took our time on it, and we wanted to make it really good, and it did end up being as good as we wanted it to be. But we were, I think, from start to finish, some of the songs that we wrote in Panic Face were 2 years old by the time that album was released. Whereas with Deadlock, it was a really, really cool way of writing songs where we all jammed them, and we knew how the songs, we were like ready to basically play them all live before we got into the studio. Which was different. We hadn't done that before. I mean, we didn't do that in any of the other bands that we were in. So I think that was pretty cool. And I reckon...
So like the jamming aspect of it being like, there's more positivity from everybody's side, because like there's everybody's input, and you're like, oh, fuck, that sounds really cool,
And you're not stuck to the structure. So
especially the drum parts, you'd be like,
but does that happen in a jam room, or does that happen if you are...
Most of it, I mean, you like to go into the recording process with like an 85% idea of what you want to do.
Yeah.
You don't want to go in there with like no idea. But I mean, there were parts where I was like, okay, I know Sean can do something epic drum full here. I have no idea what I want here, but it's got to be something on the toms, and I'll just be like, well, let's loop it a few times, and then you'll sit there and do about 10 takes, and be like, cool, I got an idea, let's do that.
Okay.
And it came out well. We kind of left out an album though. We had Have Heart was before.
Yes, I've actually.
Of course.
I wanted to play one of the songs from Have Heart that I really, really enjoy. But so tell me, when did Have Heart was one of the more recent ones? Panic Face was recently, and then Have Heart was just before that.
No, other way around.
Or other way around.
Actually, it was Have Heart is the one that took like 2 years. I mean, the whole process took so long that I've like skipped an album. But Have Heart it took a long time to record, and Panic Face was. I mean, I suppose that one was like a little bit quicker. That was a couple of months, but Have Heart took a while.
So this one is by far the quickest that you've done.
Yeah, and it was super fun to do, dude. Like, it was so fucking rad.
You can hear that it's just so it's mint, man. It's
so cool.
Description.
What is rad about this one is that we started writing and ended writing with the same members who were involved in the songwriting process. So it was, what was cool about it was that the involvement was like super high, like from beginning to end. So the thing got written and recorded, and everybody was amped, and that we hadn't really done before. So that was quite cool.
It's so cool. Actually, it's so cool that I actually so quickly want to hear another song.
Yeah.
What are we going to hear?
I don't know. Let's just play another one.
Excuse me?
Excuse me, my eyes are down here.
Excuse me, my eyes are down here.
You
Is
know,
that what we hear?
Yeah.
Excuse me, my eyes are down here. Promises were never kept, no words to hold you to. Prosecution
Execution wrecks its case, conclusions drawn off you. Execution, what's your fate? A calculated life sets you free, open the gates with death behind your eyes. You're lucky this time, with blood on your hands, you brag from your crimes, you're escaping. Get up and get out before we swing up the noose. Get up and get out, because pain just cuts you loose. Go out and hide yourself, 'cause we all know the truth behind those eyes, those dead eyes. The single pill was all it took, a violent attack. You did that to the one you love, you fucking maniac. Knuckles white, glossy eyes, character exposed. Ignorant, denialist, blame it all on God. You're lucky this time, with blood on your hands, you ran from your crimes, you're escaping. Get up and get out before we swing up and loose. Get up and get out, guys, they just cut you loose. Go on and hide yourself, but we all know the truth behind those eyes, those dead eyes.
Excuse me. My eyes are down here. By
Well
Crossfire Collision, dudes. So much fun.
The most ridiculous song names we've ever had.
It makes them rememberable. It makes them awesome.
Based on a true story.
Okay.
The drummer, Sean, he worked with someone, and I think he had like crystals in his beard or something. And,
It's like so metal that they like braid their chin beards.
Okay. Yeah.
He was like, wasn't he like also some? He was like also like a hippie or whatever.
Oh, he's like a coder, but it was like a weird, like a hippie coder.
Okay.
I don't know, something
Hippie
about
coders.
like
Jeez, I don't know this kind of genre.
it's 2019.
Okay.
Man. So yeah, something about him wanting
He had a
from
crystal
the.
knitted into his beard.
So I think Sean
Okay.
was staring at it, and that's how it's like, excuse me, my eyes
Excuse
are
me, my eyes are up here.
Like that.
Down
here.
Down here.
Like that much of a hippie that you have. I'm sorry. Eyes down here, bro.
I love it, man. I love it. So the premise of the song is, excuse me, my eyes are down here.
The song is That's the basic.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man.
We laughed like so hard talking about this.
Don't know why,
It's
but
like
yeah.
crystal knitted into this dude's beard, and we just named the song that. It's got nothing to do with it. The song is fast and like.
It is, and it's but I enjoyed it. It's fun. It's crisp and clear. It's just congratulations. I'm so proud of you guys. I mean,
Thank you, man.
coming from me, it doesn't really mean much, but
No, it does. Big time.
really, really good stuff. I'm super stoked that you guys are putting out new stuff. I mean, I've got your merch. I've got your cap. I've got your. I was gonna wear your T-shirt, but I thought it would be a bit,
I was gonna wear my T-shirt, but then I also thought it would be a bit.
Yeah.
Buy our merch
You gotta pick your
here.
battles, bro. But
do
yeah,
one of those
I
links.
bought all your merch. I've bought your previous CDs. My girlfriend's like your biggest fan.
Yeah.
So I'm really stoked. Yeah, she absolutely loves you guys. We've had some parties together in the past. I think Devon. I don't know. You don't like the abbreviations.
I don't care what you
Is
call
it-
me, man.
How do a lot of people call you Dev?
Some people
Okay.
that like
What do
to,
you prefer?
so
being
like, that
called?
like to take chances, they call me Dev.
Okay. I just took a chance. I took a
And
leap
you
of faith.
you passed, man. You're allowed to. Yeah,
So Devon, I think when did I meet you? I think I met you around the same time. Remember, I was giving you the whole man in suits Rob Hope story, but we met each other and it was an electrifying meeting. Remember Springboks?
I do very well.
That's where I first met you. You remember when you used
Tuesday
to walk
nights or Thursday nights?
It was something. It was Jug Night.
Jug
or-
nights.
Remember they did Sangria, and then they did the other night. They did the Castle Draft.
£5 stripper nights once.
Gotta be honest, I did attend a couple of those, but because it was half price for the Oaks outside, while the chicks got their enjoyment. It was. No word of a lie. That's exactly how it worked. Boys that side, girls inside.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way things were those days. You know what I'm saying?
now.
Yeah, man. But I met you one night, and I can't remember who I was with, and we hit it off, and we were drinking lots of beer, and I was fanboy. I gotta say, I was a huge fanboy of Man in Suit, and then I saw Doppler play at the Independent Armchair Theatre. Main Road
Observatory,
and that's where I got the egg.
Yeah.
That was probably my. I don't know. That must have been.
That was it, bro.
My first show, yeah.
That's the first show I ever saw. First and last show I ever saw of the Doppler effect. I wasn't lucky enough to follow you guys and be creepy like I was with Man in Suit.
It's a shame.
But it's been really awesome having you guys here. It's really refreshing, in fact, because like I said to you guys off camera, I was really struggling. I didn't know where I was going to go with this whole podcast thing. Like I said, it's the constant need for improvement, and with that constant need for improvement, there's a lot of procrastination and a lot of random money spent. I mean, just to explain, I bought like a huge table to get like a whole Joe Rogan vibe happening here, and I was just like, that's not how I am. I want to be relaxed, wear body slops, and
This table.
yeah, totally. You got to make do with what you got. But like, sorry to those people. There's been a few people who've asked me about what am I doing. Are you carrying on? I bumped into some people in Jeffreys Bay on a tour where I was just there on holiday, and they were like, "Dude, where's the next podcast?" and all that kind of shit. So thank you, everybody. I can rattle off a few names: Joe Marie Smith. I think it's Smith. Sorry if I forgot it wrong. Art Pereira, you're a legend. I'm not going to rattle a lot off, but you guys have been awesome asking when all these things are going to happen. Crossfire Collision, when can we see you next? When is the EP launch, and how can people get hold of you?
First the OBs.
Ooh, yeah.
Been waiting for like an hour.
Collision have brought a special thing here, and we're not quite sure what it is. They're gonna explain exactly what it is.
Oh yeah, that's a good year.
Sorry, just like this is like a band tradition.
Okay, so tell me about it. Take a swig first.
Yeah, let's sample this little Cedric's Old Brown. Yeah. Since 1916 is apparently what they say.
I believe it's 18 rand.
It's not even that cold weather, so
man, this is
extra warm.
No, this is the stuff. This warms your vocal cords.
Vocal cords.
Oh wait, let me not put that on. What is the question?
Where does the OB's tradition come from? Is that coming my way?
It's coming your way.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, wait. I'll answer both questions. The OBs, we've recorded almost every single vocal track after a little bit of OBs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just warms the cockles. That's a saying.
Just alcoholics. Move on.
That's really nice. And the next time, I mean, we're gonna release this this next EP, Deadlock, in the next sort of 2-3 months.
Okay.
We're fortunate that we don't have a strict deadline or whatever, but we're busy wrapping up artwork. We are looking at a couple of venues to have a rad launch.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, we're playing a couple of shows with some good mates over the next while, February, March, and April. And
okay, we'll rattle those off just in case we get this out in time.
If we get this out in time, we're playing a show with FUZIGISH, 2 shows while they come on tour.
Seriously?
Down to Cape Town. That's this weekend.
Venues.
Friday is at Aandklas, Stellenbosch.
Okay.
So that's Friday the 15th.
Correcto.
Friday the 15th at Stellenbosch, Aandklas with FUZIGISH, ourselves, Alive at Midnight, and the Shabs. And then the same lineup on the Saturday at Mercury Live, Saturday the 16th. Yeah, I think both shows are going to be, especially the Mercury one, I think is almost sold out. So
Excellent.
get your tickets.
And that's
So
going to be
good.
great, dude, because why that show, and if this does happen to come out after that show,
I'm going to push my hardest, man.
hope-
I'm going to
like,
get it done.
hopefully it's gone really well. But why that show is so significant for me personally is because the first show that I ever went to in my life, before I even knew that ska music was a thing, which was, I mean, the first band I was in was a ska band, was get in there, man.
Got to do it. Got to
So
get in
addictive.
there with the boys.
Was a show at Boogaloo's skate park in Canal Walk.
Yes, I remember that.
And it was a show with-
I don't remember going because I never went.
Remember that place, yeah?
I remember the time when that
Yeah.
happened.
It was
yeah.
Nashama, FUZIGISH, and then
Nashama,
I think Funky Gone
Aftertaste.
West. Yeah, it must have been Funky Gone West.
And Hogs might have played.
Maybe, yeah.
And it was the first time that I'd
I'm
ever
sure
heard
Ill
trumpets in a
System
band.
might have
yeah.
actually played that gig.
Oh, yes, I think they maybe did. But
Really?
They've
can't
been around
confirm.
that long. They've been around forever,
Pardon?
right? Ill System's been around for...
Yeah, they've been around for quite some time. Since 2005, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, possibly. I think I remember Sean saying that
No,
they
this-
played one of their shows at some stage. But so FUZIGISH, Crossfire Collision,
Alive at Midnight.
Live at Midnight.
And the
You know what?
Shabs.
Actually, I feel really bad. I've got to actually apologize. Just keep that
Yeah.
thought.
Okay.
I've got to apologize to Bullet Script.
Mm.
Obviously, with this constant need for improvement and procrastination, I haven't quite yet got their podcast down, and I've been meaning to have them on for a long time because
Ah.
they've got Brett, the new vocalist. They've got
Got a
Carl.
Bullet Script
I've
one
had
up
on
in
the
the-
podcast with
the
Mark
pipeline.
Price.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so interested in Bullet Script's journey so far. So, Bullet Script, I promise you, next. You're next.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sounds like a threat.
stop it. They're trying to kill you. But yeah, Bullet Script, I want to apologize. And then I can't even remember what I was going to say after that. But carry on what you were saying. Can you remember what you were even saying? You like completely jogged my memory to say, I'm sorry.
Well, I was saying that since that first show that I'd ever been to,
Yeah.
when I was introduced to ska and punk rock music, basically, and that was, I think I was probably about 16. Since then, and through all the bands that I've ever been in, this is the first time that FUZIGISH, which was essentially the band that got me into ska and punk rock,
Yeah.
have asked a band that I'm in to play a show with them. So it's
That's
sort of
amazing.
come full circle, and so I'm fucking thrilled, dude. Like I'm so
in our
amped.
mid-30s. It's come
Yeah.
full circle.
It's about goddamn
Finally
time.
made it.
FUZIGISH were and are still heavyweights, bro.
Yeah,
Remember
time, yeah.
back in the day when
Completely,
it's
man.
like a FUZIGISH concert, you got to go because you
Yeah.
might not get in.
It's a secret. Just don't break up. Don't break up.
In saying that, guys, any advice to any up-and-coming musician guy who hasn't touched instrument or anything like that? How do you keep it going? Drink Old Brown Cherry.
Drink Old Brown
OBs.
Sherry's breakfast. And yeah, I think just
Keep it going.
just keep it going. Like, try keep it fresh. Write new songs. It's never going to be easy playing in a band in this country in the punk rock scene because, you know, it's hard to get people to come out to shows.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I'm happy sitting in my room writing songs and getting satisfaction out of that, and then the live thing is like another dimension, and when it goes right, it's awesome. So
one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of bands that have everything musically that like going for them, and they put out like a good album. You mentioned Man in Suit earlier. Man in Suit came out when they came out with Battle for the Sky.
It was nuts, dude.
That album was
fucking
fucking
I've ever heard before.
rad, dude.
I also came from a completely left field. Like I didn't know. I mean, I was still listening to like Nirvana and everything at that stage. You know, like in the 2000s.
good album,
So
man.
I was a late bloomer in terms of any sort of like. I mean, when I heard that double bass pedal, I was like, shit, son, I've got to get this into my life, and that's when I started.
But I remember when they stopped, and I just bought that album.
I was devastated.
I was like, what the fuck, man? You just came out with like an amazing album, and I still kind of like secretly hoping one day like they'll start something up again. But I think a lot of local bands like from Cape Town stop playing. Just stop for one reason or another. And the one thing that I think maybe, I don't know, is quite I don't know if it's a cool thing to do, is just to carry on fucking playing. If someone bails, like, just keep it going.
Just keep it going,
and that way, like,
it's always constant work.
And also it's about having fun, like.
But the end result is that absolute unadulterated satisfaction.
And don't take it too seriously, dude.
Guys,
like,
we finished this song, and if you look back at it, we wrote the song in like whatever, in like 3 months, 3 days, 3 minutes. But
it's like when you're playing it over like these speakers, it's so rad to just, you know, put it on and play it, and it's like a lot of effort went into that.
100%.
And it's so cool to just hear it being played back. And you're like, cool, we made this. It's rad.
Yeah, I mean, also quickly, I mean, I know we've chatted about the new EP and all that kind of stuff, but how is it? Because you played this for me for the first time tonight, and I was very wary of your body language, and I could see you were more intent of like getting that, you know, just that, those nuances that you know are there, to someone like me who's sitting there going and enjoying it as just a complete listener.
Yeah.
I was so relaxed listening because it was so good, so what do you, dynamic, consistent. It's all that in one. It really is a really good recording. You sent it away for
it got
so
I recorded it and mixed it, and then we sent it to Steve Nagasaki, who's based in Las Vegas. He mastered our last EP, and he's such a nice guy, and he does a really good job. But as you said, like I don't think if you're in a band and you're an engineer in the band, you'll probably know that you can't suck yourself out of it. You always live in that space.
Totally.
You can't just sit back and enjoy it. That's the sacrifice you make.
They'll sit there mixing that thing for like
I'll be like, that snare needs to come up now. Fuck, why didn't I put that up? Where you just like, So it's a blessing and a curse. I dig it. I really enjoy mixing and
that's
engineering,
another thing
that's cool.
that maybe
saves a few bucks as well. So
some people who are interested in getting into that realm, and some people who have the knowledge of sound engineering and all that kind of jazz, just to know to narrow it down and then know when to draw a line in the sand kind of situation. Is that what you like? Yeah,
and I mean, I would love to track somewhere else just to be different, you know. I mean, I like having the control. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's cool to be like, I get to decide how the snare sounds, but sometimes you just gotta say, look, let's try something new. But you know, bands don't have a budget, you know, to go hire out like a fucking beautiful drum room costs money, and we're lucky that
even these sound devices are not cheap these days, dude.
You're never gonna make that back.
Pursuit of happiness, trying to get another reason why I also want to I just want to address this quickly is that another reason why it's been I feel like it's been an uphill struggle for me trying to get all this podcast situation up and running is because I was running off a little 2 input thing, and then as soon as you have more than one guest, it's a different situation, etc., etc. So sound devices are important. People who know what they're doing is important, etc., etc. So it's good to know when to decide that this is my wheelhouse and this isn't.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, guys, for being here today. It's my first one in a long time. I feel like I've been like super rusty and asking the weirdest questions and just going off on a tangent, telling random stories.
We also rusty, dude.
But another thing is I don't care. I'll do what I fucking want. But it's been great to have you guys here.
Oh, thank you, man.
I remember seeing this really cool video that you guys put out in 2016. And I'd like to close off with that. It's your video that starts with the...
It was filmed at my house, yeah.
At your house?
Across the road, man.
Okay.
We actually live really close to each other, you know that?
We do.
It's a shame we don't see more of each other.
I'll have a word with you off camera.
Yeah. So that song is called Brothers.
Okay.
And do you want to...
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Someone take that away from me.
Papa G's house is going to have to carry on its usual vibe. I have been very lazy of late, procrastination, the search for improvement. I promise I will try and get these episodes out as often as I physically and mentally can, because it's also a mental process. But thank you so much. But I also want to emphasize the fact that I really want everybody to get in contact with me. I've got papaghouse@gmail.com. I've got the Papa G's House podcast Facebook page. I've got papag .tv or papag_TV at in Instagram. DM me, send me emails, give me topics to talk about. It only adds to the process. No question is a stupid question. You know how it goes. South Africa is also another area where I don't see podcasts being very on it and popular and all that kind of stuff. Get me in contact with people who are doing podcasts around. I would like to meet with them, etc., etc., etc. So get in contact with us. This is Papa G's house. This is Crossfire Collision. That's Devon. That's Matt. Thank you for listening. I've been a bit rusty, but who cares? I'll see you in less than a week. I'm out.
brothers, we will fight off this night. Whoa, it's the reason.